Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to our panelists, Mr. Angelo Acedera and Ricky Rosales. I'm here to present my research or thesis proposal for social media analysis in form of discourse. My topic is about, it's a content analysis to the online post that was established by news organization. So my topic is social media analysis form discourse, a content analysis to the online post that was established news organization. The problem and its background. A community pantry is a service that provides food directly to locals suffering from food insecurity. Some rely purely on local donations. The community pantry in the Philippines was organized by Ana Patricia Nun. It was set on Maginhawa Street in Quezon City on April 14, 2021. Its purpose is to serve everyone who are affected by the pandemic of COVID-19. It is to help the needy and are affected by the pandemic. As a researcher, I was intended to put a study of the red tagging to the organized community pantry. I wanted to know if the allegation of communism is necessary to the person who organized this community pantry during pandemic. So this is going to show as to why community pantry has been tagged or has been red tagged for a communism. My review of literature for this research. This contents from the news articles within April 2021 of the fact that the community pantry has been involved to a red tagging despite of its rightful purpose to provide a good way of service to Filipino people by means of food distribution. It will be the study of news from Barnaby Law of CBS News on April 26, from CNN Philippine staff published on April 20, 2021, and Nika G. Valenzuela, reporter of the Philippine Daily Inquirer on April 22, 2021. Next slide. Why red tagging? I'm proposing of some pictures here coming from our law enforcers why the community pantry was had a closure because of this issue of red tagging. Some allegation of communism, and of course the threat that the organizer felt because of this red tagging, and a lot of interrogations from the law enforcers, which people actually were affected since they are relying or depending on this service of the community pantry has been providing to Filipino people during this pandemic. The research questions. It was the organizer of community pantry really would want to help the Filipino people during pandemic. That's actually why it was organized, because of this pandemic during the COVID-19, which a lot of people actually found out that it looks like they're not getting enough help coming from the government. There's a question, why does the Duterte's government law enforcers had to accuse the organizer of community pantries act of service for a communism? And another question is red tagging applicable for a noble act of service for Filipino people during pandemic crisis? So those are going to be the questions. Next slide. Scope and limitations of study. Articles of news regarding red tagging during pandemic on the month of April. Here, I'm showing some of the media or TV news coming from the articles I've gathered and read and studied, and I posted here this as the reference. Theoretical framework. This research is to know about red tagging for communism, which the community pantry organizer was accused, despite of their plan to give a noble food service, which is called the community pantry. The accusation of communism is a serious allegation that created a massive attention and created multiple news in media and social media. It should not get red tagging for its noble intention to help Filipino during pandemic. I'm showing here under theoretical framework conceptual framework. I'm showing here food donations, organizer and volunteers, law enforcer red tagging. This is to prepare to understand more and to understand more as to why they're all connected to each other, since the Patricia Nun, the organizer, actually has been into an issue for a red tagging. This is related to his act of service to Filipino people who are affected by the communism. This is where we can analyze that red tagging is not really or inappropriate for this community pantry service. The significance of study. Importance to know the facts from the truth behind the community pantry, which was alleged to be the start of a communism, which will give awareness to people. It provides understanding that red tagging can develop a situation that can cause closure or restraints to an activity, which is a knowledge that we can take advantage of. Since they have experienced this threatening approach coming from the law enforcers, they were actually they were threatened, so they have decided to stop this the function of the community pantry, which then made this massive issue onto media and social media, and including the Facebook. They've posted a lot of posts in their video clips or video news regarding this red tagging issue. Methodology, research, design, participants, materials, instruments. The researcher aimed to study phenomenology, which helps to understand people's meaning, adjust the issues and ideas, gather data from the red tagging that was incurred. Phenomenological method pertains to know about how the person feels or their thoughts in a particular situation during the functionality of community pantry. It describes the experience of the creator from the red tagging which threatened and affected by it. The researcher aims to provide the answer to the question why and how the community pantry was created and accused for a communism. A coding sheet to categorize the analysis of red tagging. So the content of this research can provide a lot of information that can explain to us about this methodology. I'm showing here on the next slide the Facebook and news contents, which contains posts, comments, or contents from Facebook and TV news. Some collected contents, comments, news, comments, and pictures. It shows here one of the comments in a Facebook blog by Anna Patricianan, and including some data and links information on this content. Statistical treatment of data. The issue is political, the news of red tagging which has affected the function of community pantry. Governance, the news of the lack of food assistance to Filipino people, which was the cause of restraint of community pantry. To cover this issue. Financial and economic, the news of the closure of companies, which caused the unemployment of people that caused lack of resources for food. Social media, Facebook, this is where blogs, comments, or posts were found. From Google, these were the articles, news from the TV programs were found regarding the alleged communism by some of government's officers. Thank you so much, and this is my slide for my topic, content analysis to the online post that was established by news organization. Thank you very much for watching my presentation, and any comments is welcome. That way I can be able to improve my writings and my research as well. Good afternoon.